Today we're going to explore the Miamisburg Mound. It's one of the largest conical mounds in the United States, and we're going to look around. And welcome to the Miamisburg Mound, managed by the City of Miamisburg, Ohio History Connection. And there it is, and we will walk to the top. We're at the entranceway. Across the street, it's the Mound Cold War Discovery Center. We will check that out. Most likely another day. We'll go read a little sign here in a little bit. We're just going to look around this area for now. See what type of sights we can get. It's a very nice day in October. All right, let's walk. And here's looking outward. A nice flag blowing in the wind. I like that. And back up here. Let's go explore the rock. Unfortunately, fortunately, it's like a busload of children are here from a school. Yeah, they'll run up and down. We'll get up there when there's nobody there. Let's go look around for now. My goal is to get just different perspectives around the mound itself. On top of the mound, we'll read about it. This is an area that I grew up in. I grew up in Miamisburg. We have had many family reunions here over the decades. Let's check out this rock, see what it says. The Miamisburg Mound. This is the highest and largest of the many conical burial mounds in Ohio, erected in the prehistoric times by the so-called mound builders. It stands as an imposing memorial to those first Ohioans. The mound is 70 feet in height, 877 feet in circumference at the base, covers approximately 1.5 acres, and is estimated to contain 45,000 cubic yards of earth. The land included in this state monument was donated to the Ohio State Archaeological and Historical Society by Charles Franklin Kettering of Dayton, Ohio. This glacial boulder was moved from the park upon which Mr. Kettering was born, near Loudonville, Ashland County, Ohio. It was erected by the Ohio State Archaeological and Historical Society, Columbus, Ohio, 1935. There we go. Nice, interesting. We will get a view of people at the top as we will go up there in a bit. Let's continue to explore. It's a nice park. It used to have many, many more trees, but over the last decade or two, They cleaned out a great portion of the old trees. In the summertime, on the weekends, these shelter houses are always filled with reunions. It's an old town and a lot of deep family roots here, and these things are reserved in January. So, well, good luck if you plan on just trying to run down and grab them over the weekend during the summertime. As it gets fall and, well, as it gets winter and, colder temperatures, not so much. There's another thing we have here in the park. It's the W8DYY. It's ham radio. They have operated out of here for decades. Not really sure how long. For a while. Let's get closer, see if we can see something on the sign. I think it's just the ... dash. Yeah. Yeah. The Morse code. There we go. We can see better now. Never did ham radio, but we did CBs back in the 70s. And boy, was it fun. Let's see. There we go. Mound Amateur Radio Association, members only entrance. There you go. If you're interested in that, give them a contact. Let's see, I believe it's probably the same type sign. Yep, same thing. Now this are all people's private property. All these houses that you see around here, non-existent when I was a child. This was all woods, and it was able to play in as part of the park. But, well, money talks. That's just the reality of life. And the green spaces become less and less and less. So it's one of the many play areas that have been here over the decades as well. And these are the only restroom units for this park. They're normally okay, but like many places in our town, I'm pretty sure they closed down a lot of them over the winter time. I guess it has to do with pipes or something. I'm not really sure, because I'm sure people have to use the restroom, and some people do come and play and enjoy in the colder weather. But I don't really know. So, like I said, all these houses, the streets, no. They've happened new over the decades. Everything has encroached. Not too much land left. I mean, not too much park area left. Let me rephrase that. And there we are. I think they'll be leaving soon. And we will go up and check it out. Yeah, in fact, there goes the bus. So it might get a little quieter. Originally, I didn't really think anybody'd be here. No, there we go. So they did build this. This is not a quick prefab restroom, by the way. And these water fountains have been around for eons. Do they work still? No. But the brick and stuff here, that's something. I'm not sure if these are open still or not. Let's find out. Oh, they have done some remodeling a little bit. Looks pretty nice. Imagine other facilities on the other side. This is the male side, so. Never been a female, and we're not going to start today, so. Like I said, I'm walking around it because, well, it is interesting. You know, how well it's built, how long it's been here. You do not see bathrooms built like this anymore. That's for the ladies. And one thing you'll notice, we have the Mound Golf Course here. It surrounds it where you see the fence out there, and you might see some holes. But the Mound Golf Course surrounds all the way up to the other side there. It's a 9-hole course. It's been here forever. As a kid, it was here. So, all right, let's walk around a little more, see what we see. Yeah, they have really filled up and raised the blacktop over the time. You can see how much higher it is than the original grate that was there. I guess I just keep on going. But it's in pretty good shape, so no complaints. And out there is the moor of the Mound Golf Course. I have never ever played there. To be fair, I've never ever played in any golf course. It's not really my bag. I can barely do the mini golf and adventure golf. I don't really have very good depth perception, so that makes it difficult to hit the ball. I think that's the real reason I've never played. Okay. Just zooming around, getting an idea. Like I said, it's so much a different experience when you looked over here. You know, you saw its trees and different stuff, and you could explore its neighborhoods, but such is life. It is always the balance. Let's see what we got here. Reserved. Welcome to Miamisburg Mound. Let's see what we got on this sign. Oh, wow. Take photographs for personal use. Picnic in designated areas. Keep pets short leash. Visit only during daylight hours. For enjoyment of everyone, no littering. No alcohol or controlled substances. They've always had that here. No alcohol at the parks. No metal detectors. They don't want people digging up everything. No drones. That's new. No bicycle, rollerblading, skateboarding, or sledding. Well, they have removed all the fences around the mound over there, so people could go down. A bit dangerous, but I'm glad they removed it. It looks 100% better than when they had the old rickety fences and rusted fences, and you looked like you was in jail up top. It's beautiful now as it's meant to be. People just have to learn to, I don't know, care for themselves, take responsibility, you know, don't jump off like a cliff or anything else. All right, no overnight parking, no standing or walking on the sacred earthworks. Okay, yeah, they don't want you walking up and down the hill, obviously. They want you to use stairs, go up and enjoy, and come down the stairs. But, yeah. No disturbing animals or plants. I'm not sure what animals they're talking about. And there's honestly not many plants left, a few trees. I mean, looking around, there's a couple trees that have been around and a couple back there that have survived. Most all the rest have not did too well. There's a few. A few trees have survived. I'm happy with them. No removing or damaging ground, structures, and natural or archaeological features. Okay. Well, most of it's pretty good. Let's go. Mowing the greens. So this is the primary picnic area. The primary area that's reserved for reunions and stuff. And over and over. Like I said, we've been here for decades. It's a great spot. My personal family is the only place we come because, well, it's the only place people knew we were going to be. So many did not respond, and they just showed up. But families are different. Little artwork. Now they've replaced these tables, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, it seems like. If that long. But they were great. Or I mean, the previous ones were not that great. These are great ones. They have served us well. I noticed something here. I noticed that they have filled in the fireplace down in there. It used to be open. I'm not exactly sure when they did that, but yeah, not sure. I would have to go back and look at years past pictures from reunions to see when they actually did this. Oh, we got another sign. We will attempt to read this. Well, my eyesight ain't that great, so I think I'm going to freeze it here. And might be able to read it better when I'm at home. But you can always take a screenshot, check it out for yourself. And there's the pitiful little play area. I know when we was kids we had the huge swings. I mean the ones that went, I don't know, 10 feet up, maybe 15. I'm not sure. We used to do a game called Parachute Man. We would swing them as high as we could, get them up, and just jump out of them. I don't know how we survived, but we did. We used to have teeter-totters and merry-go-rounds here, and they were all designed to be something. They were all fun. Tiny little barbecue thing that has seen a ton of action. That's all I'm saying. And this has been our horseshoe pit area we'd set up for so long. Not actually being pits. Horseshoes would fly if you didn't ring them, man. I love old trees like this. They just grow up all mixed together. They are most definitely not that way anymore when they replant. They're like that over there. That little Tiny single going up. No character, no anything. But progress. Before we go up and look around, we're going to go over here, read all the information. Now this also used to have some picnic tables, and used to be able to, I'm not sure, I don't think you reserved this one. This was one that was just first come first served no matter what. The big one and the first one I showed you over there, those you could reserve. But then at some point in the past, not exactly sure when, they removed the tables and put these here. I mean, they're not bad, don't get me wrong, it's good informational, but it could have been set out and left it as picnics, but maybe they had other reasons, not sure. Let's see what we got. Let's get some history. I have the Miamisburg Mound State Memorial. Who built the mound and why did they build it? The mound is thought to belong to the Adena culture because of its conical shape and the character of the burials said to have been found within. Adena mounds, unlike those built by the Hopewell culture, which followed them, tended to be conical in form. The Adena culture was named for the Adena estate in Chillicothe, the home of the 6th governor, Thomas Worthington. The Adena culture arose in the Ohio River Valley by about 1000 BC. As the first people in the region to domesticate plant foods, such as squash and sunflower, they lived in semi-permanent settlements composed of 2 to 4 cone-shaped bark structures located near streams. The Adena people were among the first to make pottery in what is now Ohio. Adena pots as large as 18 inches high and 12 to 14 inches in diameter have been found. They made a wide assortment of tools from bone and flint to assist them in their daily occupations. Their principal hunting tool was the spear. They fashioned beautiful and often abstract works of art, such as tubular smoking pipes made from stone or clay. They adorned their bodies with copper, shell, and slate ornaments, rings, bracelets, and necklaces. They also carved stone tablets with elaborate abstract designs. The Adena were the first in Ohio to build earthworks and burial mounds. Elaborate funeral ceremonies evidently were developed during which they buried their dead beneath earthen mounds, which grew in size over time. Square or rectangular log tombs sometimes enclosed bodies within the mounds. Right, let's move on to the next. More history. Undated newspaper photograph of the Miamisburg Mound. Artisans' rendition of the Miamisburg Mound. Postcards published by Phil Howard Drugstore of Miamisburg. I remember going in that as a kid. Postcard used in Miamisburg Historical Society gift shop. The Miamisburg Mound is one of the best known major prehistoric features in Ohio. It is one of the largest mounds east of the Mississippi River. As a result of excavations, the height of the Miamisburg Mound has been reduced to approximately 70 feet. The circumference is 877 feet with a base that occupies about 1.5 acres. In the early days of the settlers at Hole's Station, now Miamisburg, The mound was densely covered with tall trees, and a large maple was growing from the top. The historical era of the Miamisburg Mound. Photograph of Boy Scout meet at the Miamisburg Mound in the early 1930s. The first settler to own the land on which the Miamisburg Mound is located was Jacob Lars, who purchased 170 acres of raw timberland in 1806. His land deed was signed by President Thomas Jefferson. The first pioneer settlers of southwestern Ohio discovered and marveled at the mound and speculated about the identity of its builders. Early artists and photographers came to capture the mound on canvas and film. During the 1869 excavation, interest in the crowds was so large that a special police force was detailed to prevent encroachment. The site became a park in 1920 when Charles F. Kettering of Dayton purchased it from the heirs of John Tryon. Mr. Kettering gave the land with its mound to the Ohio Historical Society in 1929. During the New Deal of the 1930s, many Ohio Historical Society sites were made more inviting to visitors through the work of the Federal Recovery Administration and the Civilian Conservation Corps, who built improvements that made visiting them easier and more attractive. The CCC gathered unemployed men and put them to work. One type of structure CCC officers or workers often built at OHS sites were picnic shelters, including picnic tables and benches. Many of these structures were substantial stone or wood frame buildings and have come to be a historical interest themselves for their association with the New Deal effort to put Americans back to work during the Great Depression. Oh, so see the see the 1935 plaque in the large picnic shelter. Okay, that's the one I could not read, so well, we'll go back and check it out. In the video. Mr. and Mrs. E.J. Miller donated an additional 2.5 acres in 1936. The park is managed on behalf of the Ohio Historical Society by the city of Miamisburg. The Miamisburg Mound continues to be one of the last visible remnants of the Adena culture in the Miami Valley. The years have created changes at the mound. Gone is the path which once wound around the top. Today, 116 stone steps have been added that lead to the top of the mound. Protective fencing has been placed as well. Fortunately, that protective fencing is gone because it was nasty, uninviting, and ugly. I love the look of it now. You have rails, you have stairs, you go up top, there's benches, you enjoy. All right, we got more stuff over here to read out. Okay. Miamisburg Mound, State Memorial still. They all say that, by the way, at the top. Has the site ever been explored? The site was partially excavated in 1869 when a vertical shaft was sunk from the top to the base, with 2 horizontal tunnels extending from it. Investigators found one skeleton covered with bark and yellow clay 8 feet down, entombed in a sitting posture and facing east. Below this, there were layers of ashes and charcoal, which may represent successive cremation burials or periodic fires used for ritual or other purposes. During the exploration of the mound in 1869, a feature was found at 24 feet that was considered an important find. It consisted of what appeared to be a decayed post, approximately 1 foot in diameter and resting perpendicularly upon a foundation of stone approximately 4 feet in diameter. A second feature, 37 feet from the top, surrounded with logs, was also discovered. Throughout the vertical shaft, various layers of what appeared to be ashes were encountered, indicating that the mound was built in several stages over a great many years. The purpose of the mound has never been clearly defined. The very height of the mound has given rise to the speculation that fires may have been set for signaling. It has been classified as burial, signal, or sacrificial, although it may have served all 3 functions. Certainly it was used as a place for burial for the Adena people. This photograph of Grace Taylor at the mound in 1906. Miss Taylor lived on the family farm located to the east of the mound. The stone wall and door have since been dismantled. Some other mounds in Ohio have the Serpent Mound near Peebles, Adams County. Never been. The Hopewell Culture National Historical Park, Chillicothe, Ross County. Not been to that as either. In fact, I've been to none of these others. The Newark Earthwork, Newark, Licking County. And the Alligator Mound, Granville, Licking County. And contributors to the panel include. There we go. And here's some historical sites. Hold on that. Take a screenshot. Okay. Let's check out the last panel here. Current restoration efforts. Oh, okay. Let's see what it says here. These are older, obviously. It's now 2024. This is 2009. The city of Miamisburg initiated the Miamisburg Mound Reclamation Project with support of the Ohio Historical Society. The goal of the project was to consistently and safely restore the aesthetic beauty of the Miamisburg Mound and to allow for the efficient and effective long-term maintenance of the site as a state memorial. Cleaning. I think it was burning. Beginning in 2009, under the direction of Miamisburg Fire Department, a controlled burn has been performed annually to eradicate invasive vegetation of the mound and promote the growth of native grasses. The controlled burn is normally performed in early spring. Later in the spring, maintenance crews will chemically eradicate invasive vegetation and reseed areas of bare ground with little bluestem grass, a native perennial grass, by hand. The City of Miamisburg, Ohio Historical Society, Miamisburg Historical Society and volunteers have contributed to the improvement and preservation of the Miamisburg Mound State Memorial. If you'd like additional information regarding the Miamisburg Mound or are interested in participating as a volunteer during park improvement efforts, please contact the Miamisburg Parks and Recreation Department. And this was the old sign, by the way. I showed you the new sign earlier when we come in. All right, I think we're finally ready to head off to the mound. It seems in the short time that we've been here, the amount of clouds that have come in is amazing. It was solid blue skies when we started. Huh. Okay. Well, let's head on up. Well, let's head to the sign and read the sign. Alright, this sign has been here a long time. Looks like they've definitely changed it. It used to be a wooden thing that held it. Now they have some metal bars, which is probably better. Definitely. Miamisburg Mound, the largest conical earthwork in Ohio, originally was 68 feet high with a diameter of 300 feet. One excavating attempt in 1869 reduced the height to its present 65 feet. The mound was then partially investigated by means of a vertical shaft, which extended from the top to the base and connected with two horizontal tunnels. The exploration revealed one burial 8 feet from the top, containing a bark-covered skeleton with a vault 28 feet lower that was surrounded by logs but without a burial. Along the sides of the vertical shaft were found various layers of ashes and stones, implying that the mound was built in several stages. The entire construction, however, has never been systematically excavated. The conical shape, the type of burials, and the absence of associated earthworks indicate that the Miamisburg Mound was the work of Adena Indians, a prehistoric group that lived in the Ohio Valley between 1000 BC and 400 AD. These peoples were the first in the area to domesticate plants for food, to settle in fairly permanent villages, and to make pottery. An important part of their way of life was the proper burial of the dead in graves that were covered with earth mounds such as this one. The Ohio Historical Society. I think there's something on the other side. Nope. Okay. Nope. And now we ascend. These rails have been done nice. They were not so great. But feel free to count if you like. I'll just hang on. They are not the most even steps, by the way. But they're pretty good for how long they have lasted and the amount of use they have gotten. They have taken pretty good care of them. And like I said, the railing is super good. Let's do a pan part way up. You know, at this section, you can see the stones out here, and over here as well. You do have to be careful though. There are some missing pieces. So, be sure to mind your step as you're stepping. The sound in the background, trains. Miamisburg is known for its trains. So many go through town daily. We have 2 tracks by the river and then one more in town. This is the last landing before we reach the top. That entire area over there was where the mound was. We call it the mound. And it's where all the government work was done, and it was protected and surrounded by fences, and they did stuff with part of the nuclear program and different stuff as well. We'll learn more about that later. But they converted it after a cleanup a couple decades ago, and now turning it into private works, private businesses and stuff, reclaiming it. And it is a massive area. I'm talking it goes downward as well. From up here we have a great view of the Mound Golf Course. Let's see if we can't zoom in a little. There we go. There's someone out there hitting the ball. It is a bit cool today, so it depends on the people. I think it's in its 50s, maybe 40s still. Feels a bit nippy. So sitting down here, you can see the benches they have around the edges, or the edge of the top. It's very good. These are great places to sit, and the view is just awesome. I will look for some pictures and maybe insert of how nasty and ugly the fencing was up here. No view except like a prison of a nasty fence. So let's see what we can zoom into. This does not zoom in well. It only has like a 2 zoom. But way down there is like Miamisburg. I think I see the St. Jacob's Church with the tall steeple. We get different views once all the leaves have dropped from the trees. You can see a lot more different things in town. And down there as well is the Great Miami River that runs through. And then we'd head south. Oh, look around. You can just see different towns, different cities, a few different structures. Yeah, I can't believe how many clouds come in. From a full blue sky, I wasn't even paying attention, they just formed. Ah, here comes a little sunshine. Right. Well, that was it. Let's go ahead and head down. I'm not sure if you can hear in the distance. Hear some of the bells from the church. Sound beautiful. They play from a recording now. As a kid, I'd run up and down these. Now I'm a little more careful. Okay. Maybe I'll speed that up, make it look like I ran down. Let's do a walk around before I walk back to the car. I can't remember if there's something on this side or not. I'm pretty sure not, but it's all right. Now that area over in the Mound Golf Course where the grass is, go a little further. We used to be able to ride sleds down there in the winter time, and it's a lot of fun. I do have a scar on my wrist to remember the time though, but mostly it was a lot of fun. Like I said, they used to have a fence all the way around here. Nasty, yucky chain link fence. Yuck. This is so much nicer. And we're coming around where we started. Up front there. And we walked over to the rock. There's some rocks. I don't know if people have thrown them down from the stairs, if they're left over, not really sure. But the crew will figure it out. The grounds crew, when they come through. Okay. And here we are at the Mound Golf Course. It's owned by the city of Miamisburg. This was the one I was pointing at from up on top of the mound. It's a 9-hole. Nice little course. You can see a lot of the carts ready to go. And when I pointed at the hill that we used to ride down in the winter time, it was that one, straight up. And it was fun. I think they're doing a little chipping and putting on the practice green there. Let's walk down just for a little bit. Now, I have been in here several times for lunch and for a few other functions that's went on. I've just never actually played golf. Like I said, my depth perception, not great. Therefore, can't hit the little white ball, which kinda, yeah, there we go. Look at this. I love seeing them lined up. It's fun. Of course, now everybody uses golf carts for all kinds of stuff. But it's a pretty area for sure. Okay. Now, we used to walk this sidewalk and we'd collect many golf balls that would be out here on the edge of the, in the grass on the edge. Go walk up and find them. And on occasion, you'd see some rolling down the hill here. So, the Mound Industrial Park. We might drive through it a little bit today. We'll see. Since we're looking around the mound. But for now, I do want to walk up here to this sign and see what it says. Okay. Well, here we go. Mound Laboratory, 1946 to 2010, in recognition of the men and women who contributed significantly to our national security and space exploration. And we hear another one of our wonderful trains. All right, let's see if we got enough to catch this. Read the sign. We're going to wait till the train passes. Okay, let's read here. Ohio Historical Markers, site of the Mound Laboratory, 1946 to 2003. The facilities once here propelled the United States through the nuclear and space ages and were named for the nearby prehistoric Miamisburg Mound. The Manhattan Engineer District of the War Department began construction of Mound Laboratory in 1946. The facility consolidated production of the nuclear reaction initiators developed for the United States' first atomic bombs during World War II. Previously 1943 to 1946. The work to separate, purify, and process the element polonium used in these initiators occurred at facilities throughout the Dayton area. Mound Laboratory was the nation's first permanent post-World War II Atomic Energy Commission site. The Mound Laboratory held 116 buildings and at its peak employed approximately 2,500 scientists, engineers, and skilled workers. Contractors operating at the site were Monsanto, 1947 to 1988, Edgerton, Germershausen, or however, and Geyer, 1988 to 1997, and Babcock and Wilcox, 1997-2002. Mound Science and Energy Museum, Mound Development Corporation, Miamisburg Historical Society, and the Ohio History Connection, 2016. Let's check the other side. Yeah, another train coming through down in Miamisburg. We have all the trains. All right, site of Mound Laboratory, 46-2003. The U.S. Atomic Energy Commission and Department of Energy operated Mound Laboratory as an integrated research, development, and production center from 1948 to 2003. These facilities supported nuclear weapons, energy, and space programs. Assistance for space mission included the invention of the radioisotope thermoelectric generator, the RTG, fueled nearly 2,500 polonium-210 and plutonium-238 heat sources, as well as the assembly and testing of RTGs. The devices powered instruments on spacecraft that flew into orbits of the Sun, Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn, those sent to the Moon and Mars, and in flybys of Uranus and Neptune. Project work and the RTG program ended in 1994 and 2003, respectively. The Mound then began shutdown of operations, site cleanup, and transfer of reusable buildings to the city of Miamisburg. Cleanup and environmental restoration were completed in 2010. And here we are. We will investigate at a later time. But from this spot, one thing we did used to do, all that open space up there is where we used to stage out our parades from Miamisburg, and they would start up here because it was a huge amount of parking for floats and big vehicles and stuff, and would work our way down to Mound downtown. but it has changed since. And we will look around at a later time. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and feel free to like and subscribe. I plan on doing a lot more videos in Miamisburg. You know, I do music, I do festivals, I do fun stuff, but just walk around, get some history, and just look around town, and we'll see what we see. After all, I am Miamisburg J, you know, we got to get a few things of the burg in here. Anyways, thanks for watching, and have a great one.